everybody, it's Bernie here from Stamp and Eat, and oh, excuse me, welcome back to another Friday card making session with me. Firstly, I just want to say thank you so much to all the people that have been subscribing to my little channel over the last few weeks. I have been blown away by how it's growing, so I just want to give you a big thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate you choosing to subscribe to my channel, and I hope that by clicking on my videos each week you will be inspired to try something new in your card making journey. So today I want to feature another fun fold card, and I do want to say this design is not an original one of mine. It has been inspired by Lisa Curcio, and it is a buckle card. Now, I have changed the measurements somewhat, slightly from the original template that I had of hers. So what I'm giving you today are my measurements, and I just found that they worked best for me. And I thought, why not have a play and do a Christmas card? So I wanted to feature some of the Christmas paper that is in the mini catalog. So this one, I'm not going to replicate this one. I thought we're going to still do a buckle card, but I want to do something different while I'm making this video with you. But let me show you how it works. So it comes out and it opens like that. Hence the name a buckle, because it looks like you're inserting a buckle. And the paper that I used for this card was the Boughs of Holly set. Can you see it through the shiny paper? The Boughs of Holly. So that is literally the back, the reverse side of this gorgeous poinsettia paper. But I want to, let me just pop that to the side. Where are we putting it? Let's just pop it there. But I want to make something different while I have you with me today. And I was looking through my Christmas papers and I thought, well, what else do I have? And then I saw that I've got this beautiful, very cute set called Sweetest Christmas. It comes in 12 by 12, and I just do a paper swap with other demonstrators, and we get our papers cut into 6 by 6s. So it's got your traditional candy colors, and I am going to be using some of these today. So shall we get started? Before I do that though, let me just tell you what stamp set I used to get the font and the snowflake. It is the Joyful Flurry stamp set, and I heat embossed using silver embossing powder. I embossed that stamp, and then I masked off the Let It Snow so that it could go across two sides because it wouldn't fit in. And in the background, to make it nice and shiny, I used Winker Stella. So let's do something different today. For your card, now I'm wondering, what have I done with my card? Just give me a minute. Okay, I just had to go on a little bit of a search for my card base because it went AWOL. Anyhow, you can do any card base color that you wish. For this one, I used Real Red. For this card I'm going to be doing today, I just want to use a basic white thick, and you are going to cut it 4 1/4 by 8 5/8. Score it. Can you pick that up? Scoring it at 3 1/8. And then you're going to fold over that scored line, and this is going to become your buckle part. Then you're going to need a piece of designer series paper for the left hand panel, and you need to cut that at 4 inches by 2 7/8. And what I found is that by cutting your designer series paper, you can get a second one out, but it is a little bit narrower, which is what this one is. So I've cut this one just a little bit narrower. So put that onto your flap. Okay, So here you've got your flap. Now you are going to need a contrasting piece of designer series. Oh, I've just found my fold. A contrasting piece of designer series paper, and that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that goes inside, and you're going to glue that down. So far it's pretty standard. Now what I do is I normally fold over the front panel so that I can match up the designer series paper in a line, just so that when your eye is looking at it, when it closes, it is all beautifully symmetrical. You're then going to need a piece of cardstock. In this case I'm using Real Red, and that is 2 3/4 by 3 5/8. Now I'm not going to glue that right this minute. I'm just going to position it where I think it's going to go. And you're also going to need a piece of basic white thick cardstock, 2 1/2 inches by 7, scored at 3 1/2, and you need to burnish it. And this is your buckle. Now, in order to create this gap in here, you can use a punch or you can use a die. What I have found is the skinniest rectangle die from the stitched rectangles seems to be the best fit for this. And you really, I would suggest you use basic white, the thick cardstock. With this one I used the thin, and you can see there are a few gaps between there, just tiny, I can see them. Now holding, let's just take that out the way, opening up your card so that it's running flat, you're going to position your die in the middle, and you will need to run it through at least twice, if not 3 times, to cut through the layers, because your thick cardstock is quite thick. So I'm just going to go and do that with my cut and emboss machine, and I will be back. Alright, so hopefully I've gone through it enough times. Oh, I'm not so sure. It just takes a little bit of work because of the layers. I'm just going to use my paper snips just to cut it through. You don't want to tear that cardstock. But if you're like me, you also don't want to have to run it through again if you're feeling, well, I've done it 3 times, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of help. Okay, so set this piece to the side. We will come back to it and use it, and it has just created a little bit of a edge there. So what I might just do is just cut that away very carefully. All right. Okay, so put my die to the side. So now I've got the buckle. With the buckle in place, I can now decide, by placing the opening side to the left, I need to make sure that I clear enough space so that the buckle can go in there. Alright, so that should do it. Like so. Just want to make sure that that works. Excellent. Fantastic. So I'm happy with, I'm happy with that. So I've got a nice clearance, and as you can see, by using the basic white thick cardstock, there is no gap showing, whereas with the thin it definitely makes a difference. So I am happy with where where this is. So I'm going to glue this piece of cardstock down. Just make sure it's on the sides. and I'm just going to put my finger there and just flip it around. I am going to just hold it gently, make sure that's where I want it. Yep, so that will go down now. Awesome. Now I wanted to do something a little bit different with this card. I thought, there are candy canes on there. I thought, what have I got in my stash that looks like food, that feels like something more festive? So I thought, well, what if I've got a basket, and what if I put some hearts on there and create a sort of 3D look? Then it's a bit different. It's not your standard Christmas card. And I used the Cheerful Basket stamp set with the matching full basket dies to do that. And I colored that in with, I inked it with my Memento Black, and I used Sweet Sorbet, the light and the dark, to color in my hearts. You could do apples. The apples in there as well. I'm denied as to whether I should do apples, but I thought, no, I want to do hearts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just glue some glue down this, and I'm going to position it over my basket, and I actually want to create a 3D look with that. So for that, I'm going to use my dimensionals. I might actually, let me just think, how do I want to do this? So I'm not wanting to, I don't want to stick the hearts down, although, let me think this through with you. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first glue this down. Let's glue this bit down, and then we can have a play. Don't stick it down firmly just yet. Just bring your buckle over. Make sure it, whoopsie, just get it in. All fingers and thumbs. Get it in and then move it into position. That's the beauty of Tombow. There we go. Okay. So I'm just putting that one firmly. I'm lifting my buckle out, and I'm putting that down. Excellent. Right, I'm happy with that now. So that's now in place. Okay, what do? I want that over the edge, actually. I don't really want that. Or do I want that in the center? No, now I'm changing my mind. I actually prefer it in the center. Let's go center, but I need to use mini dimensionals, because they are on a smaller base. All right, apologies for that interruption. I just needed to meet the painters. We've had some renovation work done in our property, and of course they would rock up while I'm doing my recording. So let's do some dimensionals on here. So I'm going to pop some over there. Hopefully I'm measuring that one right. And we'll pop some there. And I'm just going to create some smaller ones over here. And I think that's about it. Somehow, I think, why is it moving through? Whoopsie. Right, I'll just pull that bit off. Cool. I think I've got it where I want it. So just pull off the tape. straighten that up, and let's go bang center in there. Fantastic. So this is going to be a really different looking little card. Just see something in there is hiding. There we are. All right. And then inside, when we open it up, let's just see how that works. I'm just wondering if it's going to be okay. We'll see. Let's ink or stamp inside. And I want to have the saying, peace on earth, goodwill to all. And I'm going to ink that up with my red, real red. Do just be careful when you're inking up rubber stamps or cling stamps that you don't get it around the edge of your stamp set. And I'm pushing that down. That should hopefully be okay. Fantastic. And there's just one last thing to do, and that is, if you want to, you can add this little strip to the bottom, which I'm going to do. So that goes on there, and remember that's the bit that we cut out. I'm actually going to put it over the top, the middle like that, just to create a bit of interest. And what I do want to do now is I just want to add some bling. Now I do believe it's probably retired, some red rhinestones, which I think goes in really well. So just pop in whatever you want to do. Yeah, I just go like that. Fantastic. And there we have the gorgeous buckle card with two different looks. One is Christmassy with a slightly different fun angle. And what I just wanted to show you, because it's picking up really nicely, once I die cut the pieces of the wood that went in there, I just used my watercolor pencil in early espresso, and I just went over the grain over here just to pick it up a little bit so that it made it pop. So there you have a buckle card, and I will pop all the measurements for that they should be on the video, but you can also have a look in the description down below. Click the button or the little arrow key, and the description, the measurements for the card will be down there. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have fun with this design. Go and experiment, making it look as cheerful as what you want it to be. And remember, until we meet again, stamp, eat, sleep, repeat. Bye.